All right, folks, it is 2 p.m. here in St. Louis metro area. Welcome to Potter's training webinar, or Ask the Trainer webinar on the MC-1000. We're going to be going over some common questions we get with the MC-1000, which is why, again, we started these webinars during the whole COVID-19 process. So hopefully once you guys get out there, if you're not still in the field, I know some people are not, once you hit the field, you can hit the ground running, and some of these issues you've had are no longer issues anymore. I do want to thank you guys for participating. I do see some regular names on here that have been in my past webinars. I don't know if it's just because they like hearing from me or they have nothing else better to do, but I guess we'll find out. So first thing we have here is I just have the website open. Of course, pottersignal.com. Everybody knows where to find us because you found this webinar. But a lot of people don't realize this search bar. It's so convenient up here at the top right. I'm just going to show you a couple things we have in here for the MC-1000. And I should say before we actually get started, just to make sure, because some people may not know what the MC-1000 is, they may just be joining this webinar to join the webinar. But what the MC-1000 does, it allows multiple control panels, referred to as clients, to connect to a host control panel to share a single reporting technology to communicate to a central station. So basically what that means is you could have multiple AFC 1000 panels or whatever those type of panels are communicating or tied back to one AFC 1000 panel that has a cellular communicator or has a IP, a network drop installed at that control panel. Then from there, it communicates off-site. Now, I know you heard me just say a cellular communicator or something like that. You're also going to hear me say throughout this plenty of times that we highly, highly recommend, if you're going to use the MC-1000, to do network, to do reporting over network, over IP. And the reason is just due to the fact of the limitations of cellular communicators. What I mean by this is a cellular communicator can only take so much data. Once it gets that amount of data, it basically just shuts down. And it's not just one cellular communicator, it's pretty much cellular communicators across the board. So here at Potter, we highly recommend that if you're going to do this, because the amount of information that could be sent to the central station when having multiple control panels tied together, we highly recommend reporting over IP. So now we've made it to the MC-1000 splash page, is what I like to refer to it as. Once here, there's plenty of documents and resources available. The data sheet, the BIM or the drawings. There's also wiring diagrams. Now, with that being said, I already have these wiring diagrams open, so I'm just going to pop it up on the screen here. And this will hopefully give you a better realization of the MC-1000. Because one of the other common mistakes people make when they're wiring up the MC-1000, which is just that 4-wire P-Link bus, is they forget that each MC-1000 module has to be connected to the host panel P-Link. They'll try and connect that host to a client panel P-Link, and it's not going to work at that point. So if I zoom in to this, I'm just going to go in a little bit, just to kind of show you again, we're coming from this main or this host panel. You'll see that P-Link goes to that first MC-1000 card. Then from here, you see out of this MC-1000 card, we're coming from client connection 1 up to the client panel. Now continuing, or I should say a continuation of that host panel P-Link, we're going to go to another MC-1000 module. Now from here, again, client 1, we go to this client panel, and then client 2 could be in another building. We take that, again, just a simple P-Link, 4-wire P-Link connection, and we take that to client panel number 3. So we have 3 client panels connected to one host panel in this scenario. And I should say the nice thing is about these drawings, again, you can get these off our website, so this gives a perfect explanation of how to tie this again into your system. In addition to that, it's in a PDF version, but we also have it in a CAD file. So if you are a designer on here, maybe on the webinar or at your business, Nice thing is because we have this in the CAD file the way we do, you can take it directly out of our file and put it on your plans. Hopefully it saves you a little bit of time. Also, we have a PDF and a CAD file for using the MC-1000 module and fiber connections. So that way you can interconnect all the MC-1000 modules utilizing fiber. I'm not going to go over that today because it's essentially about the same thing as just doing it with copper. Instead, you're just doing it with fiber. But with this, I'm going to get rid of this off the screen. So again, first common mistake people make is wiring. So remember that host panel P-Link has to touch all the way back to the main panel. If we get back from there, one thing that people also don't know we have is this MC-1000 technical bulletin. So, I already had that up. So this actually goes over a lot of good information when it comes to reporting with the MC-1000 module. And again, I highly suggest whether you're doing SIA or Contact ID to look at this. Now, the other thing that people forget when reporting is, depending on your central station, Contact ID a lot of times cannot get the specific point. You're only going to be able to report general events such as alarm, trouble, supervisory. Whereas with SIA, you're actually going to be able to get that individual point number. So we also suggest, again, when it comes to reporting, doing an IP with SIA format. And nice thing is on this document, we break down that whole SIA code for you. I'm not going to go over this whole thing. I'm just going to go over the last little section here. But you'll pay attention to this NPI number. That indicates which panel is actually reporting at that point in time. So NPI 1, or 01 I should say, is actually the host panel. And then client panels start with 02 all the way up to 63. So that's something that kind of messes people up. A lot of people assume that the host panel is going to be NPI 00. That's not the case. The host panel is actually NPI 01. Then from there, you'll see the type of event, whether it's fire alarm, water flow, supervisory, etc. Then the SLC loop, and then of course that specific point, whether it's 125, 14, or just 001. So again, this breaks it down pretty good for you when it comes to SIA reporting by point. And again, this is just right there on our website. If you scroll down on this, this is going to be the only document we also have in regards to Contact ID reporting for the MC-1000. So again, if you want to know about Contact ID and the MC-1000, this would be the document that, whether you call into tech support, call into training, email us, whatever it is, we're going to refer you to this document because it gives a good explanation for Contact ID as well. We're also going to tell you we highly suggest reporting via IP and SIA format. I'm going to do it in the software, but the other thing this document has for you, it actually has a little step-by-step process for software programming, which is a pretty good process, but I'm actually just going to open up my software and go over it with you because I have some pre-programmed or pre-defined systems, we'll say. So let me get rid of this. Now that I have the software open, I have 3 panels here. One is my host panel, which I'm going to go to it right now. If I'm going to scroll down, go to the MC-1000. And to configure your host panel, it's pretty easy. It's just a matter of coming in here, choosing whether it's host or client, and then clicking Add Device. Now you're going to click Add Device for every MC-1000 module card you have connected to your system. So if you have 10 of these cards, add 10 of them on here. The other nice thing is you can actually name these particular MC-1000 modules. So if you knew that this MC-1000 module is actually in, client panel number 4, or what a lot of people do that are used to the MC-1000, they'll actually do an MC-1000 per panel, which is fine too. And they'll name their MC-1000, like this, client panel 4, panel 5, 6, etc. Then it's just a matter of coming in here and choosing whether or not those clients are actually in use. just by check marking these boxes. So again, I like to tell you where the MC-1000 card is actually installed. Then you can come over here and actually name the panel. So if it's Science Building 101 for the first input, and then maybe the second one is the Math Building, and we're gonna call it 103. So again, you can name your buildings once you have your clients in use. Then you also have the option to display those buildings on the host. Now, the other thing that people forget about the MC-1000 modules, they think they can do control through it. That's not the case. It is a read-only feature, again, to be able to share reporting to the central station. So on that host control panel, the only thing you're going to be able to receive is items such as, client building 5 and alarm, trouble, supervisory, water flow. You're not going to get the exact point number. It's just going to tell you, MC-1000, maybe number 5, client building 5, and again, what type of event is coming in. The other nice thing is on here, it's going to tell you your different panel IDs. Now, these panel IDs should match up with each client control panel on the system. So this is the host control panel. Again, as you see here, pretty easy to set up on this portion. Now, the other thing that people forget, they set it up here, but then they forget to go back and actually choose the panels in reporting. So if I didn't have any panels added in the MC-1000, this little column or section here for panel selection would not be showing. However, once I started adding MC-1000 modules, this section now appears, and I can click on where it says panels. Gives me another little window that pops up, and it basically tells me, okay, what panels do I want to report to this account? So here's another nice feature about this that a lot of people don't realize, because they assume that with this you can only report to one account. That's not the case. So for instance, I could actually come in here and I can add up to 63 accounts for IP reporting, by the way. So for my second account, I could come in here, check mark the boxes, choose my panels, and say, okay, I'm going to report these panels to my second account. I could do a panel per account if I wanted to. So all 63 panels on the system could report to their own account. So again, there's multiple ways to do reporting features. And the reason why I say that is the fact that we all know, again, I come from the field, I come from that side of things too, is the way that you guys are going to make money, that it's all about that recurring revenue. So I understand you guys need accounts to generate that recurring revenue. And I'm getting something saying here that the presentation is blurred. I apologize. Maybe I'll try and, I don't know if it's blurry for anybody else or. And I should have mentioned too, if you guys do have questions, by all means, put those into the chat box. I will try and answer those during the presentation. If I don't get to it during the presentation, I will get to it at the end. All right, so I'm getting multiple people here saying it's pretty clear on their side, so I apologize to the person that it is blurry for. So again, when it comes to adding accounts for the reporting, and just so you know, if it is blurry, I am recording this webinar. So if you're not able to see it now, I hope to have all of our webinars we've been doing posted very soon. We're working with our marketing and our IT. It's hard when we're not all at the same office right now, but we are looking to add all of these webinars we've been doing for the past few weeks and the additional webinars we plan on doing in the future to our website. So that way, any new hires you guys have or anybody else you guys want to make point to these webinars, they can go back and watch them. So I have my panel selected here, and that's for my host. Now, if I went to my client control panels, so I'm just going to go to my number 3 here, go down to MC-1000. Now it's a matter of, again, I can choose host or client, which this time I want it to be a client. I could click add device to add an MC-1000 module. Now you're only limited to one because of the fact that it's a client control panel this time. The other mistake people make now with setting up their client control panels is they forget to come in here because there's not a drop-down box or anything, and it's already preset as address 1 for you, but they forget to double-click in this box and give it a different address. So I have 2 MC-1000 modules I'm saying on my system here, and this one's going to be MC-1000 addressed as 2. And I'm going to make this client connection too. So you can choose what client connection on that MC-1000 module as well. Notice as I'm changing either the address or the client connection, the panel ID is actually changing as well. So if I change this to 10, panel ID changes to 21. And there it is as far as how setting up a client connection. So we've set up the host connection, we set up the client connection, kind of went over some of the reporting that showed you those documents we have on our website. The next thing I want to show you guys is if you were on one of our webinars a couple weeks ago, we talked about this new reporting code generator that we have. So with that, I'm going to save this file real fast. I'm going to open that up. So I have this new reporting code generator. Open it up, looks like this. I'm going to select my files. So just have to find them, and I'm going to open up all 3 of them. So I'm going to do my main or my host control panel first. I'll do my second control panel. And one of these I intentionally did something different with it. So I'm going to go back into here real fast and find these folders. And of course, my computer's getting a little spinning wheel. Was not the perfect timing when it comes to webinar. Close down a couple things and see if it helps. There we go. So drag these files over. So these are the reports that I just made. I know they both have very similar file names. I just have one as a -2. Let me know it's my client panel. But I'm going to open up the first report. And here's another thing. We've had some people that have already installed the MC-1000 module since this reporting document or reporting code generator has come out. And they say, hey, I don't see all my client control panels on here. And again, if you remember about the difference between the control panels, it's all about that PI qualifier, that NPI qualifier. And you'll notice looking at this document, again, my NPI is 01, let me know that this is the host control panel. So again, 01, then it's going to let me know if I go over to the parameters, it's going to say 00, which is my built-in SLC, then the type of address it is. If I scroll down, I would get to a different SLC loop, again 01 for now, my first expandable SLC loop, address 12. And I'm going to keep scrolling just to show you guys the fact that, again, those other panels that will be connected to the system do not show up in this reporting code document. So what you actually have to do is bring back open the software. In order to get those to show up, oops, I'm going to do something because again, we're sharing that single reporting technology. So only the host control panel actually has a dialer or IP reporting set up. The client control panels do not. So for instance, if I would go to MC-1003, since I know I intentionally left it incorrect, I should get an error. Oh, Maybe I accidentally messed it up or put it back to being correct before. Oh, yep, because I had the IP reporting. So I'm going to get rid of the IP reporting and show you guys again. And I apologize, I actually did have all this set up ahead of time. So let's try this again. So now I'll go to generate it. And now you see it cannot generate the reporting document due to the fact that it doesn't have a dialer IP reporting accounts associated with that. Now you notice my MC-1002 or my client connection 2, I was able to do that document for you just due to the fact that I actually have a dialer programmed into this. So if I go back to client connection 2, I go to my dialer, again, you're going to see those different accounts here. Now with that being said, what I normally tell people is you can just enter in gibberish for this and the reporting code generator doesn't really care, and then just simply go back in and delete this dialer. So add the dialer, enter some gibberish, come to the reporting code generator, do this, go to the file, open it up. And now once you have it open, again, you look at this PI qualifier over to the left-hand side, you're going to see it says NPI02, meaning that it's client panel 1 or the second control panel. So this is how you're able to get all those reporting codes for your client control panels. And this is something a lot of people haven't been able to figure out, have had issues with over the years. But now because of our new reporting code generator, it makes it a lot easier on those individuals. So this is what I have for the webinar. I don't know if anybody has any questions. Before people get off here, I do want to say I appreciate your time, taking time out of your day for this Wednesday. If you guys do have questions, please feel free to type those into the chat box. Trying to answer those. If not, again, I appreciate it. Hope everybody has a great Wednesday. Look forward to seeing you guys on future webinars, by the way. If you guys have any releasing applications, we do have another webinar coming up. I believe it's next week. That's, again, just a short ARC 100 and releasing overview with the Potter system. So we did have a question here as far as when is the reporting code generator going to be released? It is actually released right now. So if we go to our website, I'll show you. To find it, you go to Documents and Resources, Resource Type, navigate to Software, then click that green Get Documents. Scroll down, you will see that report generator. Now the thing about this though is what I said in my webinar a couple weeks ago, it has to be on a Windows 10 system. It will not work on Windows 7 or Windows 8. I'm assuming you're one of the ones that maybe we helped in a with tech support or something like that, because we were doing a lot of these for people calling into tech support in the beta phase, and it's still technically in a beta phase, or we're calling it that just in case people find issues with it, but we believe we've worked out all the bugs. If you guys do use the reporting code generator though, and you feel like you have an issue, by all means contact training or contact tech support, so that way we can take your statement and try and figure out what you think is wrong with it.